see that how it goes, and we will talk about this. We will talk about some of the terms from up and running application, and we will, you know, work further on that, because for some of you this whole thing might be quite basic. You might have done Java before and you want a bit more from that. So we will start a bit early on understanding the an end-to-end application, that how it is created and all. Okay, support 08080 is already used. Okay, let me change it. 3748. Okay, so that process ID, that process was getting used. Okay, now let us now run that application. Run as Java application. Okay, so it is saying it is started. So where this application is, this is a simple application. Let us see what this application does, and we will delve deeper into Java with the help of this application. Okay, so that we will have bigger, time frame to go through each of the areas and see it in running example. Okay, so this application is local host. So okay, so now what this application is running on local host 8080 on port this, and the endpoint is students. Okay, so let us see what it does. So and then slash new. So this is a simple application where you can add students, as for example, so you can add any student, you can update the student. Okay, the value is updated. You can delete any student. Fine. So this particular thing, and then you can click add here. You can add it and then submit. A simple application this is, but this will give you a kind of a, you know walkthrough of the Java end to end. Along with that, what are the different concepts that we have seen in theory, we will see it in practice, that okay, this is what the way actually a real implementation and application is into and implemented. Okay, and that may be a kind of a good case study in general. Okay, so overall, let us go back to the code and let us see what is there for us. Let me share the screen now. Okay, so so basically this application is built in Spring Boot. So okay, so for that, what you need to do is you need to go to Eclipse Marketplace. So what are the things you need? You need Maven, right? You need Spring, you need Java version more than 8. Okay. Uh, Currently, I'm using Java 11. So Spring, as it is already installed. So let us see the installed ones. So Spring tools. Okay. So when you type Spring, then you will find this option, right? Spring tools. This is what you will need. You need Java. Okay. And that's it. Okay. Eclipse definitely an IDE you will need. Okay. So now what you need to do, once you will have this from the marketplace, you have done the setup for this, then what you will have to do is that new, and then not Java project, file new, and then project, and then you will get an option. So if the Spring um, application is not installed from marketplace, libraries are not there, in that case you will not this folder available with you. Okay. So that is one thing. So first you need to go to marketplace, have the Spring Boot installed, and then you select that Spring Starter project. Okay. Then you get the next screen. So there you will set up, the multiple things. Okay. Now let us talk about a bit on these group, artifact, and version, because you are going to see this thing more. So what is group, what is artifact, and what is version? Basically these are the terms related to Maven. So let us go back, let us go to Maven and let us see that, because when you are doing Java, then you need to understand what Maven is as well. So let us see what it is, and we will come back to the starter project again. This is a good link to understand what Maven is. Okay. So this is from Apache guys only. Okay. So yes, some Maven installation and all. What I want to focus on is they haven't explained it. They have provided you command and all, and they will give you some commands. But anyways, let us go somewhere else. Okay, there is Maven repository. Okay. So overall, this is a world, right, where of world of open source tool, and people work together, people collaborate. There are so many tools which is open source, even source is open. There are so many tools where you can directly, contribute to the open forum, right, and your code may be merged. Okay, if it has that, if it qualifies the criteria in general. Now those now different developers are working on different, application is getting developed. But in general, one of the what are the challenges that you have uh, you have in general when you are doing programming? So one of the thing that happens in programming is that Just let me note down here. Okay. So what are the things that multiple? Let us consider a scenario when multiple teams are working together, right? Okay, so multiple teams are working together, or multiple people are working together in general, right? Multiple team members. Huge team size is there. This is better. I like this. So huge team size is there, and there is a development, and there are testing teams, right? So now what developer does? Developer develop the code, move to testing. Okay, and one of the common problem, the code that is working on dev is not working on QA. Okay, so developer says that okay, when there is a defect that comes, and then QA says that there is a defect, and developer says no, this is working fine at my end. And this is one of the very common thing that happens, right? So what to do in those cases? Okay, what happens? What is the major reason that is there behind it? The major reason is the configuration, the prerequisite to run that application. So has different versions at developer machine in comparison to the QA machine. Okay, maybe developer is using Java 11, tester is using Java 14. Maybe developer is using uh, different Docker version than testers Docker version. Anything may be possible, right? There are possibility of having the different kind of setup, different kind of prerequisite, and libraries. So different libraries are there. Maybe whatever library that is needed, prerequisite that is needed, is not, developer doesn't have the setup. And also one of the biggest problems that happens that when we take the application from the developer, we need to have similar kind of setup available in our machine as well. And that was one of the biggest challenge till Maven and similar tool didn't came into picture. Okay, so what Maven does, two of the things. Okay, so it is a kind of a project management tool as well, and it is a build management tool as well. So why project management? Because Maven provides you a folder structure. So when you see, this is also a Maven Spring Boot is also a Maven one with a kind of the build and all it uses, right? So this is a Maven project, right? And we can have other Gradle and all, but it's a kind of a wrapper again. It's Spring Boot, and basically in general it is either Maven or Gradle. So we can have. You need a Java version for it. Now we were talking about Maven still. So let us first talk about these terms, and then we will talk about that. So now what Maven does is, so Maven has the whoever develops any Java application. Okay. So those versions and everything he keeps on the Maven repository. One is their own repository where they place, and another is the Maven repository. For all the open source tool or all the Java based tools, mostly this is true. Okay, so when you go here now, as for example, you are working on Selenium. Okay, so now when you are working on Selenium, this is a Selenium, uh, so you want this Selenium artifact, right? Library related to Selenium, because we are working on Selenium. So what you need to do, there are two ways, right? One is that all the jar files and everything you will copy it from someone else's machine, whoever is working. You will do the setup, and this is the old way of working, and we have used this thing before as well, right? Now what we will do, instead of copying all the things, and you can understand, right, how cumbersome it is, and this is the way we used to do the things. Not only that, we have gone multiple step behind. When we started working in industry, and we were using floppies and CDs to have these files there, and then copying via CDs, right? uh, Internet, all multiple things, these things, the things were not like that during those times. So but yeah, now when we have this, now when we are using Maven and we need all the Selenium Java library, what we need to do is that we need to go here, and perhaps you might have a separate session if already not happened on Maven. Okay, so we will see to it again there. But overall, if Maven is there, if a project is a Maven project, there will be a pom.xml file. Okay, let us first cancel it. We will come back to again. So there will be pom.xml, where it is this file in the project folder. Okay, so direct in the project first folder. Okay, in this file, if you are using Selenium as for example, you will copy, as for example, this is dependency, right? So within dependencies you will copy this part. Okay, just these 4 lines of code you will copy and put it here. That's it. So when the application will run, then what will happen, that it will check first in the local that these library files are available or not. So let us see, in some other, say do control S as for example. So it will do the building. You can see at the bottom, it is trying to find out the different you can say files and all, and it triggered the application and everything. Anyways, so let us go back here. So what it will do, that it will try first check in their .m2, that is the Maven user slash .m2, there all those repository that is copied from this source are there, and from there it is, so uh, Maven first check in the local. If it is not there, in that case it will go to this site, their site, and it will find out that particular version and it will download it. So when we are using the whole responsibility of this work of having the dependencies, right dependencies getting copied, and to the workspace connected, and everything is fine, the whole thing is with Maven. So when Maven is in picture, you just need to have the pom.xml, right? That is there with developer and use, same has to be same. You are anyway having going to have same folder structure. Then Maven will take care of all those dependencies. Okay. Now let us talk about this. What is group ID? Group ID is the organization ID. It means, right, your whole organization. Selenium is so who use project, right? So within Selenium, there are Selenium, you can say it's an organization in itself, right? So within Selenium, there are different teams or different project teams which are working. So one is working on Selenium Java, another is working on uh, Selenium Python, another is working on some other areas. Okay, so now this group ID is the organization ID, artifact ID is the artifacts, the specific library about which we are talking, and the version is the version of the of that particular artifact. Anyway, without wasting more much time on it, anyway we are going to have a full-fledged session on Maven anyway. I just gave you a kind of understanding. Why? Because we are just uh, having a quick view of the application end to end. Okay, so this, let us again go back to the new and project, and then Spring Starter project, and then do next. So you have the project type, Java version. You can set up whatever Java version that you are using, you can use it. And then student management system, you can change the details. uh, okay, and then you do the next and all your project is created. Okay, so the project will have the group ID, this is the organization level, artifact ID, and your version of that particular application. Okay, now when we, for this particular application, what are the multiple things, what are the setup that you have to do? Let us see it one by one. Okay, let us in the meantime do one thing. This student management system, let us go to this folder and let us create a Git repository. So GitHub, and then let us create a new repository, new, that is student management system. I'm creating a public repository so that I can share this with all of you. Now what you need to do is that git init, we have done it yesterday, right? So git init, and then you see git status. So there are multiple files that is there. So you will do git add dot git commit, during demo session. Okay. Okay. Now what you need to do, git remote add origin. So we have done a quick review of git as well. Why? Because I just want to share this repo with you guys, because okay, git push student management system. So you guys have the same, now I am sharing this link with you. Okay, so now you have this code available. Okay, so this is what we are working on. Okay, so what you will need Java 11. If this is set up in Java 11, that will be better. uh, you will need Maven and Eclipse. Okay, then you just need to pull this code and then open this project. Okay, and you should be able to set up it. And apart from that, you need MySQL setup. So we will see to it. Okay, so we were on that. We were on this particular area. So we have seen pom.xml. Fine, what is happening? Just remove it unnecessarily. Don't want to keep it. Okay. Next thing that okay. So when we will we start working on the application, the next thing is connection string setup with database, the application dot properties. So what application dot properties file does that, there are multiple things that happens that is same across the application, that is not specific to any module per se. So that kind of configuration is placed in application dot properties file. Okay, so for that, what you need MySQL. So what in MySQL? So what you need is that you need MySQL server and workbench. So you need both of them. MySQL download. So you need this MySQL. Okay, and yeah, apart from that, you need to have workbench overall. So in my machine, I have the MySQL MySQL is available, and then workbench. So how this workbench bench looks like this. Okay, so I created a database, student management system 1 I created. Okay, and then what I have done is here string data source URL. The data source is this. So this SQL server by default runs on localhost port 3306, okay, and then the database name, okay. So this is way the database connection string is written, okay. So URL for it, so it will have JDBC, then.
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to hundreds of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.